Hello everyone, this is Alien Reddit Stories, where I tell alien stories off of Reddit. Let's just get into it. There's already 4,000 comments in this thread, so I'm sure my little story will get buried. But here it goes. 1994 or 95, San Jose, California. South of the city, in the Almaden Valley, a lot of kids take drives at night up Hicks Road to hang out, get drunk, make out, or look for the albinos, a local myth. Anyway, I went up to the Guadalupe Reservoir Dam to hang out with a group of friends. There were probably about 5 or 6 of us. It was late, completely dark, except for the stars and a dim orange glow from over the hills to the north in the direction of the city of San Jose. Most of the guys were smoking pot, but I hadn't, nor had Brian. We were just hanging out, shooting the ish. Whatever. I noticed that what I thought was a star, or perhaps Venus on the horizon to the south in the valley between 2 hills, but oddly, it sort of seemed that the star planet was bouncing. I asked the other guys if it looked like it was moving to them, but they just thought my eyes were playing tricks on me, or that I was stoned. I reminded them that I hadn't smoked out this night, and neither did Brian, and we had all agreed that it sort of looked like the star was bouncing. Whatever. Conversation took us elsewhere, and we forgot about it for probably the next 10 minutes or so. After 10 minutes, I looked at the star again, and this time it seemed brighter, as if it were getting closer. Again, I asked the guys if it looked like it was, in fact, getting closer, and they all agreed that it appeared to be. For the next 10 minutes, we all stared at this bright light as it continued to get closer, all the while continued to bounce. It became apparent that this wasn't a star, but some kind of UFO/aircraft. It was silhouetted black against the black sky, so it was nearly impossible to make out any details. But it had a single yellow/orangish light on its belly, and as it passed over us, maybe 500 to 1,000 feet, very rough estimate based on the surrounding hillsides, I saw what appeared to be rectangular engine exhausts in the rear. Also, the rear of the craft was undulated up and down while the nose stayed straight. The dark silhouette of it was sort of diamond or delta shaped. The sound, I know it sounds totally made up, but it literally made a kind of a wah-wah thrumming sound. Totally bizarre. As this craft headed over us and off to the north towards the city, it stopped undulated and flew straight like a normal aircraft. The whole experience totally freaked us out at the time. I never saw it again on subsequent visits to the dam, but my friends claimed they saw it on a few other occasions. To this day, I have no idea what it was, but if I had to guess, I'd say it was some military aircraft or some sort. Maybe a YF-22. I think 22s are Raptors. But as it remains unidentified, this is my only UFO story. He made an illustration somewhere, but I'm not going to pull this up and read it, alright? So, that was a short story, so we'll give you another one. Story number 2. Not an abduction story, and I would never repeat this story if it didn't have... Story number 2. Not an abduction story, and I would never repeat this story if I didn't have my brother there as a witness. It was insane. A couple of years ago, my brother and I were walking his 2 dogs in a rural area of New England. We've walked this route too many times to count. It was our typical nightly walk. It was a few hours after dark. We were just walking and talking, and I noticed a bright flash of light go across the entire sky. I didn't say anything. I've seen this before, and I know your eyes can play games on you when going from inside to low light conditions. 30 seconds after seeing the flash, my brother asked, "Did you see that?" I laughed and said, "Yeah, but don't worry about it. It wasn't anything." We walked probably another 20 feet, and then this noise hit us. It sounded like when you turn your old TV to, say, Channel 5, where it was static, but it was loud. We couldn't hear each other screaming at the top of our lungs. This went on for probably 10 seconds, and then it was dead quiet. Didn't even seem like we had time to take a breath. And then the scary part happened. It sounded like thousands of these small things were running in the tree line on both sides of the tree. You could hear a small animal stampede, and the leaves and underbrush were moving. We both took one look at each other and drew our weapons. We carried on these walks, had a few run-ins with coyotes with bears. Let me try that again. We both took one look at each other and drew our weapons. Bracket. We carried on these walks, had a few run-ins with coyotes and bears, close bracket, and hauled our behind back to the house. Probably a quarter mile. The entire time these little ishs were following us, but we could never see them. After a few beers, we'll make a mention of their memory and try and figure it out. We were both at a loss as to what it really was. TLDR. While walking the dogs, in succession this happened. Bright flash across the sky, a loud static noise all around us for a few seconds, and then thousands of small things running in the tree lines on the side of the road. We ran like little girls to the safety of our home, safe and sound, with our drawers weighing a few pounds heavier. That's one way to put it. Ah, yes. Thank you. If you made it this far, go ahead and hit that alien subscribe button, that Reddit like button, and that stories alarm button. Bell button, I should say. And I'll see you next time in Alien Reddit Stories.